Welcome again, everyone, to our School of Life. And I'm very happy to once again be able to share with you all. So, as I was sharing a while ago, actually, the only familiar faces to me are si Sofia, si Paolo, and si Wesley. So, I'm happy to see you, Nathan and Sky. My name is Angeline. Ange na lang for short. I am 20-something, no? And I am a missionary because Verbum Dei, we have three branches. We have missioneros, our priests and brothers. We also have missionera, us, the sisters, and also the married couple. So I am in the missionera or the female branch. So allow me to share my screen. Just this. Okay. Mm. 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 Let me see. So do you see my screen? Ayan, okay. So 2 weeks ago, Kyle shared with us something about anxiety. Do you still remember? No, Kyle was sharing with us about anxiety, which I think a reality, in this time. For sure, at one point in your life, you have experienced that, to be anxious, to be worried, and some even depression, no. And one of the tips that Kyle was giving to us, he said, no, the first step was to look for the root cause, no. And when I was listening to his talk, to his output, I remember myself because before I was very anxious, no, really an anxious person. And my anxiety was very much manifested in my body. So when I am anxious, my gastritis is triggered. I vomit a lot. Actually, before I was not really aware of it, but as time goes by, nakita ko yung pattern, no, with how anxiety affects my body. And what helped me that time was to really find out what what is the root cause or the root causes, no, maybe a lot. And um, one of the root causes that I really find is this perfectionism, no. And today, this is what I want to share with you, no. Before I was a person who always strive for excellence, and I think all of us, no, me personally, even at school and at work, really excellence, no, is my motto. Excellence always, no, because this is what I believe. No, I personally believe that we are made for greatness. We are made really, no, for perfection. And we want to be the best in what we do, in what we give, and who we will be. That's why we don't like to settle for less. Anybody who wants to settle for less here? No, di ba? We always want the best as we can, di ba? But then, that time, I did not know back then that there is a thin line between striving for excellence and perfectionism. There is a thin line between striving for excellence and perfectionism. And sometimes it's difficult to understand because we already get used to perfectionism. And this is what the first thing that I want to share with you. The difference between perfectionism and striving for excellence. In perfectionism, we measure our worth by our productivity and accomplishments. It can be in doing things or simply winning an argument. No, it is the voice in us that tells us that we have not done enough, and so we do not feel satisfied. So we often feel anxious, confused, emotionally drained, and sometimes even before a task is even begun. No, hindi pa nagsisimula yung kailangan mong gawin, you are already anxious, no? So that is a sign of perfectionism. And we are motivated more by the desire, not for improvement, but the fear of failure. So if in your life it's like you want to be the best because you don't want to fail, we need to see, no, inside of us, it's really striving for excellence or a perfectionism. But the striving for excellence here, it says, no, we can be satisfied eh, even if we are not the best, or even if sometimes it's not enough what we do, no, we can be satisfied with our own efforts even if there is still room for improvement, no. we are more likely to feel excited, energized, and clear about what we need to do. So these are just some points, no? The difference between perfectionism and striving for excellence. And when I was studying, I thought it's striving for excellence, but it's perfectionism pala. Especially when I measure my worth with my productivity, no, and my accomplishment. So what are the signs that we are in this perfectionism? I like so much this book that I was reading because he said that when we are in a perfectionistic mode, we tend to think dichotomously. What does it mean? It means that we see the things in a polarized fashion. For example, kumbaga walang middle, only never or always. I don't know if in your life you were aware sometimes before, no, I was not aware that I use the never and always. No, for example, I failed in an exam in this subject. Parang what I tell myself is I always fail in this subject, but in reality no. No, there are times that I pass naman. So unconsciously we have this in our mind. It's either never or always, or black and white, or either I lose or I win, no, or I fail or I did something right. No, there's no middle. Kumbaga always extreme, no? Pangit maganda, no? Walang gitna. And also we also fall victim in what Karen Horney termed as tyranny of should. No, that's why I ask you to write, no, to write your I shoulds, no, the I should statements. For example, I should always do right. It's positive, right? Or I should know the answer. It's positive. I should always excel. It's positive. No, I should never get angry. Seems positive, no? But she was saying that unconsciously, this even it seems positive, but actually it enslaved us, no, internally and externally. And she was saying that we get this along the way. Even it even started in our childhood, no, how our parents relate with us. I remember the one I should that I have in my life, no, is that I should not fail. No, because when I was young, my mother would always tell me, we are poor. So you need to study. You should study well and you should not fail. So I have that, it's not bad, diba? It's not bad. But eventually as I grow, as I have this I should in my life. So if I fail, I felt like if I failed in my exams or what, I felt very down, no, because my worth is already entangled with that. So this, I don't know, no, later you can have time to see where those I should statements that you have also come from. No, and so what happens with when we are in our perfectionistic mode? Of course, everything has a price, no? So we pay the price of our perfectionism both physically, spiritually, and socially. So what is the price of perfectionism? Physically, as I have mentioned before, my perfectionism made me anxious and it is manifested in my stomach. No, my gastritis is triggered. I was even hospitalized. No, I was never hospitalized in my whole life, but because of that, I was hospitalized because of gastritis. And other people's reactions are different. No, some they have headache, tension, body tension, yeah, body ache, and study says that if some even fall into addiction. No, it says it is very much related in alcoholism, eating and digestive disorder, depression, heart attack, and even cancer. Now imagine. And socially, we tend to value output more than relationship. So when we have a very high impossible standards with ourselves, unconsciously we treat and judge others in the same way we treat ourselves. No, I say we tend to value more the output than the relationship. Now why? Because we don't care of the feelings of others. If they couldn't give what we expect, we tend to, like, kumbaga, uh disregard, no, or we don't value what they give. And actually in my own journey, this is where I really struggle, no. This is the price that I paid a lot, no, because I unconsciously nga I put my own standards with others, so I need to appreciate what they can give, and then I did not care of what others feel because I just wanted to get what I want in my own standard, no. And the result is I was left with very few friends. No, I tell you, I graduated with honors, but I don't have that I can call really friends, no? They are actually, most of them are angry with me kasi sabi nila, ang damot-damot ko daw. Hindi daw ako nag-share, ang damot ko daw, hindi ako papakopya, yung mga ganong eksena nila, hindi ako tumutulong. Because na, I just want to meet my own standards. And spiritually, perfection weakens the very foundation of our spiritual life. No, I didn't know this, no? Perfection weakens the very foundation of our spiritual life because it impedes self-acceptance. No? A perfectionist has selective self-acceptance. What does it mean? Of course, I only accept what is the best in me. But to accept my weaknesses, no, it's not easy to accept my limitations, no. According to two authors, no, I like this so much. Self-acceptance is foundational to our faith because sinful flight from God starts in one's sinful flight from oneself. Sinful flight from God starts in one's sinful flight from oneself. Self-rejection easily leads us to a rejection of God because we are discontent with who we are and what we are and what we can give. No, we cannot value our life, which is a generous gift from God, simply because of our own unnecessary, no, and unreachable and impossible standards that we put in ourselves. Now, does that mean that we are not made for perfection? Of course not. No, I always believe that we are made for greatness. We are made for perfection. But this perfection is not in the eyes of the world because we pay a very, very high price, no, for it, and we suffer, no, for this. But we are called to what we call Christian perfection. Christian because the standard of perfection is not what others say. It's not what the world say, but Christ himself. So what is this Christian perfection? Jesus himself said in Matthew 5 verse 48, "Be perfect just as your Father is perfect." Be perfect just as your Father is perfect. And that confirms our call for perfection. That confirms that we truly are made for perfection. But what does it truly mean for us Christians? I want to share this because this really helped me a lot in my journey. William Barclay said that the Greek word used by Matthew for the word perfect is the term teleios, no? And according to this scripture scholar, a thing is teleos or a thing is perfect if it realizes the purpose for which it was planned or created. A thing is teleos if it realizes the purpose for which it is planned or created. If you can sit in a chair, perfect, because that is the purpose of the chair. If you can lie down on the bed, that is perfect, because that is its purpose. But what about us? No? Where does our perfection lies? Our perfection lies to our purpose. For what are we created? For what are we planned? What is our purpose? It has nothing to do with being flawless or errorless. It has nothing to do in being always successful or famous or to be on top or to always be right, always winning an argument, because that is human impossibility. But what does it mean for us? For in the previous school of life, no, we have learned this. My purpose is to love. If I love, perfect. No, if you are flawless, I don't know if I can say that that is perfect in your eyes and in the eyes of the world, but in the eyes of God, no, no. And so, what does it truly mean for us to love? And the verses before Matthew 5:48 tells us directly where does our perfection lies. No? Um, Matthew Matthew 5 verses 43 to 48. Matthew 5 verses 43 to 48, which also be the passage that we will be praying this morning. And the title of these verses is Love Your Enemies. No? Love your enemies. And it says, you have heard that it was said, love your enemy, love your friends, hate your enemies. But now I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may become the children of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun to shine on bad and good people alike, and gives rain to those who do good and to those who do evil. Why should God reward you if you love only the people who love you? Even the tax collectors do that. And if you speak only to your friends, have you done anything out of ordinary? Even the pagans do that. You must be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. For me, this passage is very clear. Our perfection lies where? In loving inclusively, universally, and wholly, no? Everyone, including our enemies. In other words, be merciful. Jesus Christ said, no, in Luke 6:36, be merciful just as your Father is merciful. The Father is perfect in mercy, and Christian perfection is in being perfect in mercy. Be merciful to yourself and to others. This is the antidote to our human perfectionism. Being merciful, being compassionate to to ourselves first and to others. First, be merciful to myself and to ourselves. Why? Do you know who is the first enemy of a perfectionist? It is not the others, my dears. It is ourselves, actually. No, it is ourselves. In the passage, it says, love your enemies. It's not only the others. Because the first enemy of a perfectionist is myself. Why? Because when we are perfectionists, we are left with very little self-compassion. We become rigid, always structured, always organized. And then when it's not met, we get very stressed. No, we become harshly critical with ourselves and overly sensitive, self-evaluative. And at the end, we pay the price again. No, but it is very beautiful when Jesus said, he makes the sun to shine on bad and good people and gives rain to those who do good and those who do evil. And for me, that helps me a lot when I was praying because I said that's true. God's love for us is not selective. It is not based on how well we do things. It is not about the high standards that we put on ourselves. God loves us as we are and receives with so much joy what we can give and what we have. For Him, who we are and what we have is enough. Is enough. No, God does not want us to suffer from our unreasonable and unnecessary self standards. God does not demand us of anything except to love, right? We are the ones demanding more and more from ourselves. And just to share, no, I was sharing with you that when it comes to academic life, I am very, really perfectionist, no? And I'm very happy at first because I met my goal, no? I graduated valedictorian, which is very, for me, very valuable, no? Elementary, high school, and I graduated college with student achiever awardee, no? I graduated from PLM, no? CHE. And then, so my goal then, of course, after the academic life is to take my board exam. No, they say that the most difficult board exam, one of the well, all engineering courses naman are difficult, di ba? But they say that the most difficult is chemical engineering. So when I was preparing, I had this very high vision. Oh wow, I will pass and I will, and I did my best, no? I did my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough because I did not make it. No, I failed in my board exam. And that moment I was very devastated because uh, because I failed. It hurt me because I felt like worthless, because I felt very down. I felt like I am nothing. No, imagine how many I invested in my academic life, achieving many things, but when I failed in my board exam, I felt like a total failure. And it helps me so much what my father told me, because I was telling him, sorry, I did not give my best. But he was telling me, no, what you gave is your best. And that is enough for us. Now, don't worry. Don't worry. And why am I sharing this? Because sometimes it's that is the risk, no, ng perfectionism. We tend to entangle our worth with what we achieve. But this is not what God desires for us, no? He wants us to be compassionate, no, with ourselves, to appreciate what we can give and what we have. And for him, that is enough, because that is you. That is yours, no? And then second, be merciful to others, especially to our enemies. No? Be merciful to others, especially to our enemies. Who are the others who we consider enemies? No, some those who hurt us, those who don't agree with us. No, so as Christians, our perfection lies in loving them. No, in praying for them, in forgiving them. And it's not easy, diba? So I will share with you, I have a very fresh experience with a person close to my heart, no, my cousin. You know, this time of campaign, diba? I don't know, but my newsfeed in Facebook, a lot of, ano ba, different posts na ano mo tawag doon? Patutsa, like they exchange, no, mga paninira, in fake news about candidates that they support, di ba? I don't know if in your news feeds like that, no, a lot of justification for each candidate. And then this experience, my one of my cousin posted about debates, no, like BBM not attending debates. And then I commented my opinion, no? And very, very light, no? I told her, yeah, sayang nga eh. I was expecting him actually to join so that he can share naman his platforms. I think debates are the easiest ways for us to know them, no? Kasi sometimes we don't have time, no? But those debates are very important. So I just said that. And then suddenly this one cousin commented back and told me many things, no? Started to bash the church and said many foul words, no? And I was very angry and hurt and very disappointed, no? And with all the emotions that I have, I sat in our chapel. And looking at the cross reminded me, no? Because I was preparing this and Jesus was reminding me, Ash, do you remember what you are preparing, no? For the young people? That the perfection is not that perfection does not lie, no, in winning the argument, but in loving. So I was really challenged, no. And then so what I did, because I wanted to rebut, but to answer her also, because I find her attacking my personality, my life already, and the whole church, imagine. And so I sent her a private message, my cousin, and then she justified herself, saying many bad words, no, below the belt words. And then at the end, but then I tried to be calm. I did not tell her bad words or anything against her. But I told her, ate, at the end, you are my cousin. And I value you more than whoever will win. No, I value you more than whoever will win. And I told her at the end, I love you still. No, I love you still. I was hurt and disappointed, but I love you still. That's I ended, no, my message to her with that. I was hurt, but I love you still. And I think her heart was softened also, because from very, very aggressive, no, she started to say, okay, I love you, no, I love you, because she calls me Angie, no, I love you, Angie. She did not say sorry to me, which I hope, no, she would give, but no, no. But even so, my anger was replaced with peace, no, because when we love, that is the fruit, always peace, joy, no. When we get our perfection in loving, the fruit is always peace, joy. If our perfection comes from the world, the fruit is really stress, no, and anxiety. Because again, that is our perfection. It lies not in being flawless or errorless, not in always being right, not always in winning an argument, not in having many people to clap and even to agree with you, no? Or not even when you feel so strong and so great. But our perfection, once again, lies in loving, even if it hurts, even if you don't feel like it, even if it is difficult, no? Because not all people are easy to love. Because our perfection, again, is in the realization of how we are created. And that is in loving like Jesus, inclusively, totally, always without distinction, loving ourselves and everyone. Jesus is perfect because he loves always and he loves everyone. And the path of perfection is not a straight path, not a bed of roses, but the path of perfection is the cross. It is the cross. When we love ourselves and love everyone through the merciful eyes of God, when we die to our own unreasonable and unnecessary standards. No, I say unreasonable and unnecessary standards, allowing God to rejoice in who we are and what we have. So, if you want to be truly perfect, don't look at an icon or personalities to imitate, but look at Jesus on the cross and learn from him. Look at Jesus on the cross and learn from him. That is the perfection that he is inviting us. And that is a very beautiful and very good reminder for us in this time of Lent. No, we are preparing for the Holy Week. This is a very good reminder for us that this perfection is not at the end, but this is what we strive every day. This is what we strive every day. That is to love. And this is also what we do in the school of life. That I also invite you to persevere. No? In the school of life, we learn how to live, not only to survive, but how to live, how to love, no, in our daily life. And so, in this time of prayer, I invite you to really have time, no, to contemplate Jesus on the cross. And if it will help you, you can take these questions. How do you understand perfection at this point of your life? No, what is perfection for you? And then, what are your experiences of perfectionism and experiences of positively striving for excellence? And then for prayer, no, I invite you to stay with the passage of Matthew 5, verses 43 to 48, and ask yourself, what part of the passage struck me the most and why? And how can I be more merciful to myself and to others, especially to my enemies? How can I be more merciful to myself and to others, especially to my enemies? So we can have 10 minutes of prayer and enjoy this time contemplating Jesus on the cross. And we can go back for our share.